Happy New Year's, guys. It is 2018. It is upon us, and we are off and running in a new year. Hey, I want to give you a couple of things, a heads up. The 31st, New Year's Eve Sunday, is going to basically be a standalone sermon, and myself and Stephen are going to be preaching at our campuses. We're going to be looking at the topic of the Reformation. So 2017 was the 500th anniversary of the Reformation, and very specifically, we're going to look at one of the cardinal doctrines of the Reformation that was rediscovered, was that in the Christian faith, every believer is a priest. And so at the time of the Reformation, priests did all the ministry. They blessed and took the elements, they sang the songs, they read the scriptures in Latin, they spoke in Latin, which most people didn't know. And so everyone just came and observed and watched the priest. And so Martin Luther, Zwingli, Calvin, the Reformers, one of the core doctrines that was renewed and elevated in the Reformation was that every Christian is a priest. And to be a priest meant that you had direct access to God, that you presented sacrifices to Him, that you prayed for yourself and the people, and that you did the priestly work of ministering to others, of explaining the gospel to them, or rather the truths about God if we're looking at the Old Testament. So being a priest was something that you see the thread of it throughout the Old Testament. There is this time when God takes a portion of the Spirit that He gave to Moses and puts it on others. Two guys aren't there, they miss the meeting, they're running around in the camp, and all of a sudden the Spirit falls on them. They begin to prophesy, and Joshua goes up to Moses and says, "Hey, have you heard about these two guys in the camp?" And Moses says, "Oh, that everyone would have the Spirit of God residing in them." And so we already see this prophetic hope, and then that is basically brought to fulfillment in the book of Acts, Acts 1 and 2. At Pentecost, we see the Spirit fall on all of God's people. And so we're called to be priests. That's what we're going to look at. That's what some of the questions are on. And so go through that with your group as you look to the new year. Also want to encourage you guys, if you're not directly following the sermon, utilize Right Now Media. It's a great resource. I know some groups are doing stuff on marriage, on discipleship, on leadership, and then some stuff specifically on a book of the Bible. So it's a great resource. If you're not using it as a group, I'll recommend it to your group and really help the group to utilize that resource for their personal development, for their discipleship, and for their marriages and parenting. Great resource. So just want to push that and continue to push that in the new year. So as always, we love you guys. We'll see you on the 31st for the final Sunday of 2017, and then we'll catch you in the new year. We're excited for what God has planned, and I'm going to unveil quite a bit of that in the coming weeks as we look to 2018 and what God has in store for us. Some really exciting initiatives and more surprises on the way. So keep in prayer for us, keep in prayer for yourselves and your groups, and as always, we'll see you on Sunday.